parasitic diseases have plagued humankind throughout our existence. And still today, they affect hundreds of millions of the most vulnerable citizens of the world. The discoveries by William Campbell and Satoshi Omura have provided us with revolutionary therapies against elephantiasis and river blindness. And the discovery by Yu too resulted in an exceptionally effective treatment against malaria. Elephantiasis is a stigmatizing and disabling disease of the lymphatic system that causes lifelong swelling of legs and other body parts. River blindness is due to infection and inflammation of the eye, damaging the cornea. Both diseases are caused by roundworm parasites that are transmitted by mosquitoes and flies to humans. In the human body, filaria, a form of the parasite, migrate to the lymphatic system, causing elephantiasis, or to the eyes, giving rise to river blindness. The life cycle of the parasite is maintained by new insects biting the human host and transmitting parasites to new persons. Satoshi Omura in Japan, a specialist in large-scale culturing and characterization of natural products, had a vision to find agents from nature that could be used to develop antibiotic drugs. He was particularly interested in the bacteria Streptomyces, which is very difficult to grow. He collected thousands of samples from soil, and against all odds, he succeeded in culturing several new species of Streptomyces. From these, he selected 50 of the most promising cultures to be evaluated for their antimicrobial activity. Amazingly, in one of these samples collected next to a golf course, there was a new, not previously detected strain of Streptomyces that would change the history of medicine. Omura, as part of a collaboration, shipped the 50 cultures to Campbell's laboratory. There, extracts of the cultures were added to the food of mice infected with parasites. One of the extracts turned out to have a remarkable effect, killing all the roundworm parasites of the mouse. William Campbell, an expert in parasite biology working in USA, realized that they struck gold. He managed to purify the bioactive substance and named it ivermectin. Subsequently, the substance was modified to a more effective compound called ivermectin. The new drug turned out to be extremely effective against a range of parasites in farm and domestic animals, and it is today still massively used in veterinary medicine. Now, based on his success, Campbell wondered whether the spectacular effects seen in animals might be achievable also in humans infected with parasites. Clinical trials were initiated on patients with river blindness, and these could demonstrate that a single dose of the drug was sufficient to kill all roundworm parasites. The journey to develop a new drug against parasites that globally infect hundreds of million people had started. Like the previous diseases, malaria is caused by parasites transmitted by mosquitoes to humans. The infection leads to fever, shivering, sweating, and in severe cases to encephalitis and death. Globally, around 500,000 people, most of them children, die every year in malaria. After entering the human body, the parasites first infect liver cells. Thereafter, they enter red blood cells and multiply, destroying the cell, causing the recurrent fever attacks. The life of the parasite is maintained by new blood-sucking mosquitoes. To tackle the challenge of developing new malaria therapies, UU2 in China, trained in pharmacy and part of a bigger national project, turned to traditional herbal medicine. In 1,000-year-old literature, she discovered that the plant Artemisia annua, sweet wormwood, appeared in hundreds of recipes. She therefore tested an extract from the plant on mice with malaria and found a clear effect on the parasites. But the results were inconsistent. Tu then decided to visit the ancient literature again. In a 1,700-year-old book, she discovered a recipe that inspired her to develop a new method to extract the active substance. It turned out to be a great success. 100% of the malaria parasites in infected mice and monkeys were killed. This was a genuine breakthrough in the discovery of artemisinin and a turning point in finding a new drug to combat malaria. The discoveries of ivermectin and artemisinin have fundamentally changed the treatment of parasitic diseases that affect hundreds of millions of the most vulnerable people living on our planet. Artemisinin saves lives of severely ill malaria-infected patients and has markedly reduced the death toll during the last decades. Ivermectin prevents the stigmatizing and disabling symptoms of river blindness and lymphatic filariasis by stopping parasites from infecting eyes and the lymphatic system. In combination with measures that interrupt transmission via insects, artemisinin and ivermectin have contributed dramatically to reduce the number of individuals that are infected every year. Treatment with ivermectin has even become so successful that river blindness and elephantiasis are on the verge of eradication. But the impact of ivermectin and artemisinin goes far beyond reducing the disease burden of individuals. By allowing children to go to school and adults to go to work, the treatment helps them to escape poverty, which also contributes to economic growth of the community. The discoveries of the 2015 year's Nobel laureates, William Campbell, Satoshi Omura, and UU2, represent a paradigm shift in medicine, which has not only provided revolutionary therapies for patients suffering from devastating parasitic diseases, but has also promoted well-being and prosperity for both individuals and society. The global impact of their discovery and the resulting benefit to mankind is immeasurable. Thank you.